give him maybe a little bit of speed
Okay.
in the matchup. Notice the 3 Mox
three
diamonds
Moxes.
there.
Now, we were talking earlier about Gerard Fabiano's list. For those of you who are seeing it, I heard one person compare it to Dead Guy Ale, calling it Red Guy Ale. That's a pretty solid name as well.
Yeah.
Gerard Fabiano is Team Italia is the list he is, or the name he has given this list. We see the first couple of turns of the game.
Yoni leads off with a Windswept Heath, which he does not crack at this point. But Gerard fetches a Badlands, and I believe we're seeing a Thoughtseize here.
It could be an Inquisition, but it's
Could be
probably a
Inquisition.
Thoughtseize. He only has one Inquisition of Kozilek in his main deck.
And 3 Thoughtseize, so likely to be a Thoughtseize. And yeah, he's at 17 life, so that makes sense. So what is it that he took? We have a cracked fetch land.
I believe he took the Kasali Pride Mage. Was that what was there? It was Tarmogoyf, the Gaddock Tegan. I think the last one was Kasali Pride Mage. Is that correct?
I missed exactly. Did anybody else see what he took? Okay. I was looking at the deck list to verify how many Thoughtseizes were in there, and I looked
Top
up.
deck of a... oh, there's the belated shake.
Yeah. Oh, good luck, by the way.
Yeah. Tarmogoyf comes down on turn 2. Knight of the Reliquary picked up by Yoni. A fetch here from Gerard Fabiano. Bertoncini comes over with a smile on his face for the equivalent of a bye that he got in the semis.
He's resting up for the finals.
Another Badlands from Gerard Fabiano.
Your hand is. I was making sure. So you have Goyf in play. So you have Teague.
What are we going to see here? Dark Confidant. These guys dueling off for a long time as the best 2-drop creature in Extended at least, if not in Legacy. Tarmogoyf comes on in.
Yoni in the tank trying to decide exactly what he wants to do here. He does have
He has a fair number of options.
Yeah,
if he
he's
casts
got a
the Knight of the Reliquary, it is a fairly weak Knight of the Reliquary. There's a Sajiri step in play, letting Gerard Fabiano, if he didn't already notice it, know that there's a secluded step in Yoni's deck for game
Sajiri
3.
step, right?
Sajiri step, yeah. I'm not sure what I said.
I
Secluded
think
step?
it's secluded step.
Yeah, Sajiri step is what was drawn there. Dark Confidant shows a land.
And Gerard drops a Hymn to Torok. So Yoni gonna lose some of that full grip that we were saying. And
He gets to keep one card. I'm not quite sure what he lost from that Hymn to Turok.
yeah,
If we can get a report, that'd be great. Or if we see Yoni's hand. And Plateau is fetched up. There we go. Looks like the Knight of the Reliquary is one of the victims to Hymn to Torok. Grim Lavamancer. Grim Lavamancer particularly good against Tarmogoyf just because you can manage your own graveyard. You can't control theirs with it, but that damage plus the managing your graveyard, very powerful.
so I believe is that a Green Sun Zenith in Yoni's hand still?
Yoni is looking to find some way to press this life advantage he has. He's got a very aggressive Tarmogoyf. The Gaddock Teague is also coming in. Dark Confidant's a really interesting question right now because Gerard knows that Yoni playing a junk deck doesn't have any reach. What he has is he has the ability to play aggressive creatures, and he has the ability to deal with things on the table. So he can't necessarily block later on. There's an opportunity here for him to trade with that Gaddock Teague.
Sounds to me like he was thinking exactly what you were saying.
There we are. Now, throwing away a card advantage engine might seem crazy, but he does not want to get to a point in life where any old removal spell that Yoni throws out ends the game for him.
Right.
One of the best lessons to learn in Magic is when card advantage ceases to be important, and card advantage becomes much less important as that life total creeps towards 0.
Yeah, and Gerard at a precarious 7 life facing down a Tarmogoyf, and that was a Green Sun Zenith.
Might be
in
another
Yoni's hand.
Tarmogoyf.
Green Sun Zenith for 3, fetching up probably another Goyf. Yes.
Green and 2 gives him another Goyf. This is a rough position. Gerard would really love to see a land and a Vindicate, the Wasteland there, knocking out his only white source. That might just be too much. Yoni is out of anything in his hand, but his board position looks pretty
yeah.
good.
Double Tarmogoyf is usually a pretty good board. Especially Gerard just with a Grim Lavamancer, or a second Grim Lavamancer there. And
Lavamancer Collar.
Yeah, Basilisk Collar.
Now, Gerard does need a land here. He's going to have to chump block one of these Tarmogoyfs. And then he needs to have a land, which he has not shown us. And even then, I don't know that he survives. So he can chump block and then shoot one of the Goyfs to survive if he has a land here.
Yeah, that's still looking pretty bad for Gerard.
I mean, like, here's what happens, right? If he gets a land into play, he can equip that Grim Lavamancer, block, shoot the other Tarmogoyf before damage, stay alive. Oh, it just says go. I'm not even sure if he can survive this attack then.
Yeah, those
even
Goyfs...
with the new way that M11 rules work, the life gain is simultaneous. Oh, there, that's enough. That's enough to make it be over.
Yeah, that's... I can't imagine that Gerard can...
Even if those Tarmogoyfs are only 4/5s. Oh, they're 3/4s. Oh, okay, that's not enough to kill him then. Here they all come. He's got to block the Tarmogoyf. He's going to stay alive at 1 life.
That might end. I would have won right there.
Wait, if the Goyfs are 3/4... Oh, that's right, he just
The new
gained
M11,
it.
the new M11 rules. He's not dead yet. Is there a path here? Do I have a way? What can I do? What can I say?
Yes, not a lot of options here for Gerard at 1 life.
Imagine if he had had that land there, though. He would
Yeah.
he would be actually very solidly in a safe position. Bob says Swords to Plowshares.
Gerard says he wishes he had Swords to Plowshares right
Well,
now.
I don't think he wants the swords right now. The land would not let the swords help him out.
Yeah, so...
To game 2. Game 2, Yoni Skolnik, he's seen Grim Lavamancer. That might make him think about Pithing Needle. Another thing to think about, though, is Pernicious Deed. A Pernicious Deed, for one, effective against Grim Lavamancer, but Pithing Needle doing the same work, but not necessarily taking out his own things. Thrun ×1 seems like that could be pretty
Yeah.
darn good. Kitchen Finks ×1, another really good card for this kind of matchup. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mazavith come in from the sideboard either. Sensei's Divining Top. If he's seen how this deck plays out, he should probably board in the Sensei's Divining Top for the long grind that can be possible.
Right.
He didn't see much, but he did see a Basilisk Collar, which might lead him to bring in that second Kasali Pride Mage, which also doubles as a potential aggressive card.
Yeah, exactly. Seems
that's
really good, yeah.
a lot of cards to potentially bring in. Cards to consider taking out might be Hymn to Torox, largely because the hymns can come to the table a little bit too late. We have right now the contest at hand. 6 months of free premium for one of you lucky people out there. We have hashtag #SCG Premium is where you want to send this response to the trivia question. Now, the trivia question, I have one if you don't have one.
I don't. I'm just thinking. but
Yeah, so
sounds
Gerard
like-
Fabiano named this deck Team Italia. He named it partly to honor one of his good friends,
That's right,
a
we're talking
Pro
about
Tour
that.
player that he names in the Star City Games coverage. So if you go and look at the Star City Games coverage, who is he telling, or who is he honoring with the name Team Italia for this deck? What pro player is Gerard Fabiano honoring by naming this deck Team Italia? You can find the answer if you look at our Star City Games coverage on the print side, and if you know by listening in, what pro player is Gerard Fabiano honoring by naming this deck Team Italia?
I feel like 16-year-old girls. Not that I ever do that. Yeah, if I draw land there, I go whip, shoot, voice. Yeah. Yeah, I think I
Yoni Skolnik going through his sideboard once again, seeing if there's anything that he missed. Gerard Fabiano. What are Gerard's options here? His Pyroblasts obviously don't do anything here. Swords to Plowshares ×4.
Yeah.
Seems like it does a lot. And Sword of Feast and Famine, I mean, obviously it can be destroyed, but until it's destroyed, that's most of the deck that just gets taken care of. Swords to Plowshares being one of the only things that can stop a Swords of Feast and Famine equipped creature.
Yeah, so basically it looks like Gerard wants to bring in those 5, and other than that...
Yep,
he-
5
he's good.
swords come in from for Gerard Fabiano.
Yeah.
And on the other side, it's a question mark about Pernicious Deed, which is pretty good when you're behind, but he expects to be ahead, I think. And more likely, I would say, is bring in 1 Kasali Pride Mage, 1 Sensei's Divining Top, 1 Kitchen Finks, 1 Thrun would be my guess. Maybe Pithing Needle in some small number. Hymn to Turok, as we saw Gerard Fabiano hitting Yoni Skolnik with the Hymn to Turok. But what happens in the mid-game of this, if the Hymn to Turok doesn't destroy someone in the early game, the mid-game hymns don't really do much.
Yeah. So, besides cutting the hymns, what else do you see him taking out? 'Cause it sounded like...
I mean, I wouldn't be... I wouldn't find taking out 1 Mox Diamond terrible.
Right, I was thinking about the Mox Diamonds as well. I was thinking about
Gaddock
all
Teague,
3.
Gaddock
even.
Teague is actually really wimpy in this matchup.
Yeah.
only going to cut your deck.
I mean, one of the things that Gaddock Teague... Obviously, there's the Nambo of Green Sun Zenith and Gaddock Teague in the same deck, but that doesn't matter usually, because the idea of it is, if you've got Gaddock Teague out against the matchups where you want it, you don't care that you can't Green Suns anymore, and then you can Green Suns for it.
Right,
So-
exactly.
I'll draw.
And we go to the hands. Gerard Fabiano grabbing a hand. Hoping for something a little bit more interactive. We see a Mox Diamond in Yoni Skolnik's hand. Bayou as well. I see a Vindicate amongst other cards, amongst Gerard Fabiano's cards. Gerard says he wants to draw.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So Yoni with an explosive start. Turn 1
Kept in
him
the hymns.
to Torok.
Turn 1 him to Turok. That is a classic play from the early 90s, or the mid 90s.
Wow. Gerard maybe wondering maybe if he shouldn't have tried to do something with his first turn, maybe. We don't have any idea what he's got, and we're gonna find out
Is
in
that
a
2
second.
land that got hit?
I don't know. Can we find out what just got hit? There we go. And it was Wasteland and...
Oh my!
Is that a Badlands?
That looks like 2 land. That actually, a 2 land hit on a turn 1 him to Turok can be the most devastating.
Yeah, that could have... Ooh, that could be really, really bad.
Looks like he might only have a wasteland. Nope.
Oh, there's a Scrubland.
Scrubland, Figure of Destiny. And there's another him to Turok. So Wasteland him could be the follow-up here. Him it
And
is.
there's another him.
And can't tell what that is at all.
No, it's all a lot of glare, and there's a Wasteland. So Wasteland him was the play.
Attack for 1, say go. Wow. Gerard's going to need some runners in order to be able to do anything here.
Yeah, that's a brutal opening from Yoni. Yoni had the acceleration in the Mox Diamond right into the turn 1 him to Torok, into a turn 2 him Wasteland,
Yeah.
and that is just brutal.
One of the things I was saying before about him, I mean, it's not good in the mid to late game, but obviously
Yeah,
in the game 1 or turns 2 through 3, not to mention 1,
Yeah.
insane.
Turn 3 Knight of the Reliquary for Yoni.
See
just
another
to,
land. I think I see a land in Gerard's hand. That knight is, I think, fairly big.
Yeah, there's at least Wasteland, Windswept Heath, 2 hymns, and something else. That's,
No, yeah,
so it's
but-
3 then?
I mean, I both. No.
Yeah, I think it's just a close one.
All 3 possible connotations of that applicable here. What's the third one? That I think that you said.
It's 5/5. Oh, look at that shirt. I like that shirt.
I didn't catch it.
If I attack, will you block or not block? I will block.
Wasteland.
I don't care. So,
Go. And now Knight of the Reliquary can fetch Wastelands at will. That'll be it.
Feels bad, man.
And Dark Confidant and Sensei's Divining Top from Yoni, just to add to the
Yeah.
to the pressure and to the
Unless somebody exchanges Gerard's deck with a Type 1 deck, vintage for the kids, there's no way out of this one. Gerard literally runs 0 basics, so there is no escape. You know, if I were Yoni, I don't care about getting 2-for-1s. I would just get rid of that Wasteland so that a land Bob doesn't come down on some turn. Just take the 2-for-1.
yeah.
Or, you know, lose a 2-for-1 on yourself,
Right,
rather.
right, exactly. Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody did. So,
Yeah, this is still a game. I don't think it should be.
it's strange because it really doesn't look like it could be.
I mean,
Gerard has
it's
a
a
lot
long
to dig
shot.
out of.
I'm not gonna say that Gerard is, a shoo-in by any means.
Right, right.
I'm saying it's just still a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gerard definitely, he hit his second land draw and is about to play something here. I think he just fetched up a land, but he was kind of looking through his deck to maybe refresh himself with what was still available. And then there's a Stoneforge Mystic from Gerard. Now it looks like Gerard's
Maybe.
trying to decide what exactly he wants to grab.
Getting a Basilisk Collar, perhaps?
Yep, there it
there's
is.
the Basilisk Collar. Only 1 mana for a Basilisk Collar. Yoni untaps. Swords to Plowshares.
That's
Oh, Dark Confidant, you are so good.
Yoni with just pretty much everything he needs. Even when Gerard starts to look like maybe he can dig out of the hole he's in, Yoni just gets another nail for the coffin.
I mean, I wouldn't even say that, Gerard was in a position to be maybe digging out of the hole. I think more was like Yoni was letting him have a doorway open.
Possibly, yeah.
And this door is not a big door. It's still
No.
it's still a crack. For life for Gerard. Inquisition. Let's see how good it is over there in your hands. That's pretty good. I'm going to give you some life. Give me a second.
Now note, if Yoni wins this match, he goes on to face Merfolk in the finals in the hands of Alex Bertoncini, and he beat Merfolk 2-0 in the quarters. Doesn't necessarily mean he wins, but that's something to keep in mind.
Swords removing the Figure of Destiny. Inquisition still on the stack here.
I don't think if you fail to find Alright, what are you on? 5?
Or did Inquisition hit that Mox Diamond?
Mox Diamond? Is that all that there was left in
I
his
think
hand?
that was left, yeah.
Basilisk Collar. he sends his Divining Tops just to see how much pain he's going to take. Bird of Paradise there, ×1 in the deck.
Yeah.
Hey, 0, 1.
And
Draw
I'll also
phase.
draw for the turn, which I believe is
Green Sun Zenith. Everybody comes on in. He's forced to block the Knight of the Reliquary. Goodbye to Stoneforge Mystic.
He goes to 1 life.
Gerard Fabiano draws Balance. And Yoni Skolnik is forced to discard most of his hand and lose all of his creatures. Wait, I guess not. Never mind, I got that wrong.
Yeah, I don't think that's what happened. I don't know. Balance. I didn't see the balance. Oh wow, that's just brutal. Gerard plays Stream of Life. Oh, doesn't have a green mana source.
I think it was Balance that he needed there. I don't know
Yeah.
why he didn't put that in his deck.
I don't know.
Do I get
So
the card?
does he
Thoughtseize.
plays Thoughtseize?
I forget how that's worded if you can cast that when you're at 1 life. I think
You can. It says you lose 2 life.
You
at the
lose 2
end.
life? Okay.
Yeah.
Not you pay?
He says, "Alright, you wanna?" He says, "I'll take the Green Sun Zenith."
Okay.
And
It's going to be Alex Bertoncini versus Yoni Skolnik very shortly.
he says, "Take the bird." No, I'll take the Green Sun Zenith.
There we go. Gerard Fabiano vanquished by Yoni Skolnik.
Yeah.
Yoni takes a sigh of relief